Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for the Geekenders podcast. MegaRan, Jesse and Dodger, what up? Let's go. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow and see what the Geekenders are all about. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt. Yo, another end of another long week. Got a job and a kid, I know that you all beat. So take a second, grab a drink and vibe while we catch you up in just a matter of time. On gaming, comics, whatever you're doing. If you're nerdy like us, then you know you should tune in. Thank you for sharing our world with us. Now follow, subscribe, and turn this up. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, scream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geekenders. Yay! With a guest. Oh my goodness!
How did we get here?
A lovely person that I haven't talked to in forever. Mr.
No, you said that like you're surprised that you have a guest. Wait, what am I on here?
We haven't had a guest in a hot minute.
Oh,
Like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. It's been a bit. It's just been us.
It's been long enough that when I said we had a guest, everyone was like, "Oh, a guest?"
oh my gosh, who did you guys drag on here? No, I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me. I've missed both of you very much.
It's been forever.
Ken, it's just so hard to do this show without a guest because I have to carry it every week.
Oh,
What the
Put
shit?
Dodger on my back. She's drunk half the time. It's out of control.
I can't believe. You know what I hate about you saying that is if somebody literally just goes to the last episode, they'll be like, "She's literally drinking a beer. It's real."
it's the very first time ever watching. She's an alcoholic. Oh my
I
gosh.
can't believe this. I'll never beat the allegations. Bro, how are you? How's life, Ken?
It is.
A lot?
Well, we'll say everything's good. You know?
Okay.
Come on, hey, thanks for having me, guys. Let me just dump some stuff on you here. No,
No, please do.
it's been busy, but good. We Australia for like 3.5 years, and we moved back to America in January, and finally
okay.
getting settled.
That's why I was like, wait, are you in America? Because the last time I asked you to come on this show, you were like, oh, that's at like 1 a.m. for me. That's not really going to work.
Yeah.
And then Jesse was like, hey, Ken is down to be on the podcast. And I was like, last time I talked to Ken, it was at a really inconvenient time for him. And Jesse was like, no. He said he's down. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you had moved back to America. So that makes more sense.
Yep. And everyone always asks, like, why? Why would you move back? And I'm like, well, it was fantastic. It was great. It was like a vacation every single day. But eventually you want to come home from vacation, you know, that kind of thing, like family support and everything here in the States was just better for our situation. And so Mary's Australia, my wife. And so she made the tough decision to go along with like, I want to go back. And she's like, fine. And she's fine.
Yeah.
Like she's good too. But yeah, she definitely would prefer to be in Australia, but made the sacrifice for me because she loves me so much. So sweet.
I mean, yeah, it's hard when you're in a situation where both people, like each person is from a different country and has a support system in that country. Right. Whenever people ask me what I miss about America, I'm like, my friends. Everything else I don't give a shit about, really. But like, I really miss being able to just have a little goof and gaff with my buds, you know, like they goof and gaff differently here. So
do they still goof and gaff or do they?
They do, but the vibe is off, you know, it's like it's just a different
vibe.
It's a different goof, a different gaff. Yeah.
Do you find yourself like cracking the same jokes that you would like back home and then it just kind of falling flat and you're like,
face to face, I don't try it, but sometimes when I'm texting somebody, I'll speak in a very American way, and it It doesn't usually have the response that I was expecting because I forgot that this person's English, you know?
Yeah. I'd have that a lot in Australia, actually. I'd be just speaking about something normally, like having a conversation, and I could tell that they just took what I said as not what I had meant, you know? But you're just like, yeah, I don't want to re-explain the whole thing. But I think they're also just like, wow, I like your accent. I like your long draws.
I get that a lot here. And I think my accent should be like deeply boring here. But I guess it stands out enough that people don't want to just say, oh, your accent. They feel like they have to say, I like your accent. Even if they don't
I like
mean it. Even if it's not that really, you know.
You live in a place where they have like 4 different accents, like down the road. Like there's so many.
Yeah. Is Australia not like that?
Yeah, but it's like Australia's like the same landmass as America, so it's pretty spread out. You have to go quite far, but I learned some of the. Have you picked up on the local slang? Some of the
a little bit?
Some of the things leaked into what you say?
Did you pick up on a bunch of Australian slang?
Well, you got to wear your thongs, right? Those are just flip flops.
Mm-hmm.
And then
to be fair, my mom calls flip flops thongs still.
Yeah. Okay. I
feel like that's also an like older generation of America thing.
Right. They even like instead of like someone saying, oh, thanks, you say, oh, you're welcome. In Australia, they say like, no worries, or that's okay. And at first I was like, that sounds kind of rude. It's like, oh, thank you so much. That's okay. Like, what's okay? What part's okay? I mean, I don't know.
If it makes you feel better, when I say thank you to my mother-in-law, she says, don't be daft. And I used to be like, that's aggressive. But it's just like their way of being like, don't be silly. Of course, I would do that for you, you know, but it comes across like idiot.
Yeah. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law, please.
Mm-hmm.
How's Sam doing back over there? I mean, I haven't caught up to either one of you guys in a while.
I know. Yeah.
You probably tell this. I mean, I don't know how many times I'm making this about you, you know.
Flip's hair. Yeah, Sam's doing good. You know, he likes being near his family. That was the whole reason that we moved here was to be close so that Clark would have like cousins to play with and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Be near his parents. So yeah, we got a little farm and a bunch of stinky animals, and I love them all. I think my mother-in-law has snuck another chicken onto the property.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought I saw something from Sam the other day talking about like a goat or a sheep or something walked into his room, and
the pigs figured out how to open the gate.
Yeah.
So that we have like a fenced-in field that all the animals live at, the like bigger like livestock, and the pigs figured out how to open the gate, and so the pigs and the sheep just walked out into our front yard, and one of the sheep walked into Sam's office while he was working, and he was like, "What the fuck?"
Flip that.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking about, Jesse?
Yeah, Jesse, where are you at in life right now?
I realize that the two of you have very similar stories. Meeting love. Honestly, I'm gonna be real honest. Just finding someone so significantly better than the both of you and then moving around the world for them is very sweet. And you have a story that connects you both. You both have children. You both, you know, like there's a lot going on here. And I realized that there are two adults speaking. Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to determine whether this post I saw online about Sabrina Carpenter playing Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering is real or not. And I realized, what am I doing with my life? The two of you got all this going on, and I'm like, yeah, all right, but I can't find if Sabrina Carpenter actually did this or not. Is this a real post or is that not a real post? That's where I'm at. I
see. Well, let's deconstruct it. What makes you think that she didn't play Magic the Gathering?
Well, because the post is by Mason Esports Clark, And I don't know that Mason Esports Clark knows what Sabrina Carpenter's up to on a daily basis. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that they're not friends.
There's no picture or anything.
No, the images are Sabrina Carpenter holding a dog, and then the other picture is of Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. There's no connection.
So what's written in, it's an article? What's written in there?
It's just a post that says Sabrina Carpenter says her favorite hobby is drafting Magic the Gathering, and that she loves the limited format for Final Fantasy. And then all the comments are like, I like her even more now. No one is saying that's fake, dude. So I don't know what's real or what's not, and I'm trying to look it up, and I have no evidence that this is a real thing. And again, I'm thinking all this while you two are like, so what, when you moved, what was that like? And, like having to adapt to a new culture. Like, how are your kids doing? Oh, you have a farm. Yeah, wow, and I'm like, so did Sabrina actually play Magic the Gathering?
You know what? I just looked up Sabrina Carpenter Magic the Gathering, and there isn't a lot of evidence for this being real, sadly.
I don't think it's real either, but I need to know. It seems like made up BS or joke, right? Like Sabrina Carpenter was like, I don't know that that's a funny joke. Maybe Sabrina Carpenter loves Magic the Gathering. I don't know. So I'm trying to determine the validity of this. And the two of you over here like, taxes. Man, those are the worst.
You're bringing it back. You're bringing the entertainment. Me and Dodger are just being like, life.
We need the juxtaposition. That's comedy. So...
Right. And the joke is me, apparently. So that's cute.
Okay, so we've fact checked a little bit the Sabrina Carpenter thing. I don't think that it's real.
I want it to be real.
But does she play League?
Oof.
That's the next question.
No.
Why not?
Because she has a career and does stuff during the day.
That doesn't mean that she can't wind down with a couple infuriating games of League.
How toxic is she? That's I guess the real measure. If she's a little toxic, she might play League.
How toxic is she? I mean, she put out that picture of a guy like pulling her hair, and everyone was like, "Feminism's dead," and then everybody else was like, "No, feminism is letting a man pull your hair if you want." So, if I had to deal with that shit all day, I'd play some League.
Yeah. I would not. I would. Are you kidding me? League would only make it worse. She's coming off like having the internet yell at her, and everyone's mad, but no one's mad, but life is miserable, and you go home and you're like, you know what?
I'm gonna wind down.
I really want to get beat up bot lane by a bunch of anime waifus. Like, I don't think she thinks that.
Maybe she went Arcane and was like, I really like this.
Is Magic any better though? Is Magic the Gathering better in that sense?
Great question. Would it make more sense for her to play some Magic?
I mean, if you're going to like local tournaments, you're playing like at the table with the other your fellow nerdy brethren. Well, first off, the place, it's going to smell bad, and that pisses me off immediately. I don't know what it is about Magic tournaments and just some BO, but god dang, it's not a meme, it's real. Same thing with anime conventions in the Smash Brothers room. That sucker is.
Yeah.
And then you sit down and you like shuffle your deck and you're board shuffling. The guy's like, oh, that's not proper shuffling etiquette. You go judge and you just go flip a table. Your $800 deck you had to buy online that someone told you that it's meta.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Play what you want and enjoy life. But also, there is a thing happening on the internet where I am worried for us all, where people are now like, look, guys, I just want to be honest with you. This whole deodorant thing is a scam. The human body regulates itself, and you don't need to worry about your smell unless you're eating poorly. And I'm like, brother, don't do this. Not like this. I've been on the battlefield. Please don't. I've gone to conventions. I've been at events. I'm begging you, don't do this to us. Please don't.
Yeah.
Gosh, that reminds me of a TikTok that I saw one time of this like very handsome man with like this luscious hair. He had like the perfect YouTuber hair going on, and his whole thing was like, I haven't washed my hair in 15 years. My natural oils, blah blah blah. And the comments were like, oh my gosh, really? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, guys, please, please don't do this.
The thing is like, some people are. there's genetics involved here, right? Some people are stinkier than other people. Some people are oily than other people. Like, you can't just see a video of somebody who's like, I wash my hair once a month and it's beautiful, and then not take into account your own hair type and how oily your head is, right? Like, our bodies are all different, man. There are plenty of people who sweat balls and then don't smell at all, and that's amazing for them. Could not be me.
But aren't they sticky? Like, wouldn't you, if you're sweating a bunch and then you just don't shower? What's the deal there? I can't
You're
I can't deal with
you're
it.
a two-shower man, though.
I am a 2-shower. Sometimes I'll take a morning and a night shower, and it's the best thing ever. Love it.
Wow.
It's great.
Wow. I mean, I only say that because I'm thinking about myself, like self-reflecting, like, wow, I've been like a couch potato internet nerd my whole life, and, you know, working from home at a computer desk. You know, sometimes I have the same shirt on, and the next, you know, I might have this shirt on tomorrow's video. I don't know. You know, gotta be. Maybe I got the good genetics. I'm not too stinky.
Maybe.
Well.
Or you're nose blind.
Right.
Or you're not a complete psychopath like me. It's not even about the stink. It's about the idea of like, or I could just go stand under the hot water and like, you know, scrub up and like, oh, I'm so clean. Yeah. Oh no, that's psychotic. I'm aware I'm the problem. It's fine.
By the way, wanting to be clean isn't psychotic, Jesse. Come on.
Oh, I'm like this close to being like the guy who puts lotion all over him and sanitizer. It's like, I must be clean. Yeah, like I'm that guy. I'm very close. There's moments where I'll see something dirty and be like, I don't like that. Yeah.
I was raised by ex-hippies, so it was very like, you know, you should let your natural skin oils soothe your skin a little bit before you take a shower. So we were an every other day shower family. My mom would then follow it up with, but don't tell anybody that. Tell people that you take a shower every day. And I was like, okay. Which I thought was very funny. So.
God.
Mhm.
It's such a good insight into your barefoot running through the forest childhood. You were raised a hobbit, and I love that for you.
I was, yeah.
I think that's incredible. And then you married an elf. And I was at the wedding and I saw it, and it literally was the marriage between an elf and a hobbit. There's no other way to describe it. It was perfect.
It's still the way, ever since you said that, it's still the way that I describe my wedding to people. Like, just imagine, if you will, an entire family of short, squat people and an entire family of beautiful, tall people. And for some reason, two of them decided to get married. That was the wedding.
More importantly than that, on the elf side, everyone was beautiful. And on the hobbit side,
tread lightly,
ghouls from the internet showed up. It was very obvious. We were like, yeah, like the ogres and the trolls and the dwarves. They're on the hobbit side. And then all the elves are over there. All of them gorgeous. It was like upsetting. And then because they're all like, you know, like half the guys were in, I want to say, the military. I think a lot of Sam's friends were, whatever the case may be.
His best man is Royal Marine.
So they were already good, like, okay, American, come drink with us. And I had to, because I was representing an entire nation.
Sure.
So to this day, I will never forget that night, because it was 1,000 degrees in the UK.
Sure was.
I had drank more than I ever drank in my entire life and ate more greasy meat than I've ever eaten in my entire life. So I'm in my little room that's a box above a pub in the middle of nowhere with no air conditioning, one tiny ceiling fan, and a window this big. It might have been 12 million degrees. I don't know how hot it was, but I had to take all the covers off. I was laying there bare ass naked in the bed, sweating more than I've ever sweated in my entire life, wishing for death. I was like, just kill me. Just kill. This is too much. It was terrible. I made so many mistakes. That's what you get for playing with elves. You don't do it. Lessons learned.
You know, if you read the books too, they just sing songs at you and make fun of you. And that's absolutely what happened at my wedding. So yeah. We were also one of those sadistic weddings where it was like, yeah, it's going to be at this place and it will be all day. And no, there isn't a way for you to leave. It was like
from moment one, 10
it was like abnormally hard. It's normally hard to leave, which we didn't realize was going to be an issue until like the day of. They were like, I mean, we can get a taxi here, but it's going to take a while. You're like, what do you mean? So Sam opted to just keep feeding people, which I feel like was right in the moment. But clearly when people got home and in bed, finally, they were dying. So
no. It was just me, I'm sure. I was the only person dying. But admittedly, it was so long and so much alcohol was served that at a certain point we had to all take a coffee break.
Yes.
Everyone stopped drinking, went and just drank coffee and sat around like, oh yes, I'm drinking our coffee. Paused and then resumed drinking again. It was great. I loved it. I had a blast, except for the night, in which case I wanted to die.
Except for later.
I was gone. Alcoholic drunk meat sweats? Yo, that's unbearable. That's the worst thing that could happen to a person.
Owie.
You don't want that.
Man, speaking of, it's very hot again. It's awful in America right now, isn't it? I keep seeing everybody talk about like
on the East Coast.
Heat wave.
Yeah.
On the East Coast. Oh, I see.
It's like 100 something.
Jeez.
Which is not great. On the West Coast, not so much. Still 70 something. I think the highest it's getting in SoCal is like 85, which
not too bad.
Is all right with me. Yeah,
I'm sticky.
I'll take that.
It's sweaty here, but not like unbearable. You know.
Now, would you take a shower because of that?
Yeah. I took a shower right before this podcast and I'm already sweaty again. So
was it a hot shower though?
No.
That's my problem. See, if I'm sweating and then I go and take a hot shower, when I get out of the shower, I'm still sweating. If anything, I'm sweating more after the hot shower. Terrible mistake.
Another shower.
Yeah, I'm like, no, but then I don't. And so what I do is I take a blow dryer, set it to cool, and just blow dry my whole body with the cool setting on the blow dryer. Like,
oh my God. No, you have you have one of those standing fans that like oscillates slightly. Get out of the shower and immediately stand in front of that. Incredible. Yep.
But the problem is it's not tall. And so literally it's just at dick height and it just keeps blowing my dong.
I mean, it's important for that to be dry.
Now I know why he takes so many showers, Jesse. That's the fact.
It is what it is.
Hey, what are you gonna do? Oh my goodness.
I did want to change in maybe a slight change in tone here. I wanted to apologize and thank both of you guys. Now this is gonna be like a really
first off, I love apologies, so please, go on.
So, whenever we were all in the elevator, I was absolutely miserable. I hated it there so much for many reasons, and like you guys, like Jesse, Dodger, even like the guys from the office, like David Ross and all those guys made it bearable. And I always felt like I was extremely like negative and just like a dick the whole time I was there because I was just like not having a good time. And so I want to apologize for that. And then thank you guys for being cool while I was there because man, that was rough.
Oh, I mean, I think that anybody who's lived in LA understands like for a while after I moved to LA, I did not want to be there. I never felt like you were being overly negative or pessimistic. I always thought that it was very nice spending time with you.
Oh, thank you.
But you know, you were pretty open about the fact that you were not jazzed to be living there.
A lot of it wasn't even like just the place so much. A lot of crap happened when I got to LA. Like a lot of stuff went real bad. I can't talk about all of it, but
Sure.
And you don't have to.
I could tell you like, oh, go ahead, Jesse. Sorry, I'll continue.
No, I was saying, I think, if anything, especially on this show, we all understand that it wasn't just come to LA. It was come to LA and be a part of an industry that you're not really sure who to talk to, who to trust, who's on your side, who actually gives a damn about you. Like, there's a lot of that, and it takes some time and clarity away from the beast to be like, oh, okay, here are decent people, and here are people who are just kind of assholes. And once you figure that out, life's a whole lot easier. But I think everyone kind of understands being a little like, I hate this. Oh, this is the worst. And sometimes, you know, you feel like you come off being bad or an ass or whatever, but trust me, that's not the case. I don't think either of us feel that way. You've always been a sweetheart. I mean, literally, it's why you're on the show. You know, like, you wouldn't be here if we were like, that guy's a dick.
God, Ken sucks though.
Like, God, also, all right.
Especially if you're depressed, right? It's so hard to imagine that you are any fun to be around. I think that's also an understandable feeling of like, I was depressed, so I'm sure everybody hated every moment they spent with me, right? Because that's part of like the depression mindset. So,
oh my God, like, yeah, what you said like is like spot on, Jesse, with like trying to find your way like through people. And so I moved there, you know, for the thing, like be part of it, like, come down to Maker and all that, be part of everything. I was like, yeah, heck yeah. And I came down and I'm like this little Southern guy.
We all did. All three of us did, for sure.
Yeah,
that was
like,
it. Like, come to Maker. We're like, yeah.
Like this is gonna be great. And then I was like, you know, I was friends with the some big up and comers, and so I got invited to some parties, right? That I wish I didn't go to. So like going there, people loved bringing me to things and then just like leaving me. Oh, they would like, come on, okay, come with me to this thing. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool. It would get there and be like, cool, I'm going to do my rounds and I'll catch back up to you later. And I'm like, I don't know anybody here. This is great. That is that super wholesome, popular YouTuber that everybody knows. And he's definitely coked out of his mind right now, harassing those people. Okay. No, I don't want to take your ecstasy. Please leave me alone. Like, just kind of that whole shock thing happened like real soon. And some people would think that's a great time and be like, heck yeah. But I don't know, like it, like on a moral standpoint, it bugged me because I was like, that's when I like first realized that there are many content creators out there that are kind of quite different than what they portray through the lens. That wasn't so much the issue. So much the issue was just like people would bring me to things and be like, hi, he came with me, but now go away, leave me alone while I go schmooze.
I'll never forget being invited to a party. I'm not going to drop any names. I just, Dodger definitely knows this is it. I was invited to a party and they were like, oh my God, your parents are in town. Bring your parents. I was like, are you sure? Like, yes, bring your parents. I'd love to meet them. I'm like, to the party. Like, yeah, please. I'm like, okay, get there. This person said hello about 5 minutes and then gone. And I was like, so I brought my parents to this party. Now I'm babysitting my parents at a party that what is, I thought, why'd I do this? Like, what was the point of it? It was such a waste of everyone's time. I was like, why are we literally sat outside with my parents at this giant party? And I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done my entire life. What are we doing? Why did I do this? But when I'm the big cool internet person says, bring the family, I was like, all right, sure.
Okay. Did your parents have a nice time?
I don't know. If they didn't, they wouldn't never have said. They would have been like, that was sweet.
That was
they would have been very nice about it.
I'm so glad they invited us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, they were expecting, much like I was, that it wasn't going to be a massive thing. I thought it was going to be bring the parents. It's going to be like 6 of us.
Right.
There was like 100 people at this place. And all of them were in their 20s. And all of them were just gone on whatever. Sometimes this town's weird, is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's a weird place. Yeah.
It is really, really difficult to learn the the difference between a person who genuinely wants to be your friend and a person who wants to say that they're your friend.
Yeah.
Because those are like really different things, right? Yeah.
You know, this is the last person that I remember to like go to something with me and then leave me hanging was Dodger.
Don't say that. For real?
It's not. Hang on, I'll bring it back. It's not as bad as.
No. Dig deeper, please.
No.
It was God, how long ago? It was a long time ago, but I think it was like one of the TwitchCons, cons, right? I was with Mary, you were Sam, and we had went to the party. We was going to go. It's like, yeah, do you want to go? I was like, yeah, let's go. And they had bowling, and so we like bowled a couple of rounds.
Yeah, we bowled for a while. I remember.
Yeah, and there was like somebody that was there that was like, good, and I was like, hey, and they were like a fan or something. But anyway, I smoked them a moment, came back, and then you and Sam were like, all right, well, we're gonna head on and go see some people. And I was like, cool. And suddenly that was me and Mary like at the bowling alley, like bowling by ourselves. And
No.
This was like still like 2016 or something. So I didn't like know anyone from Twitch this time. And I was like,
Wait,
and I did.
Was this that massive, like, giant bowlerama place or whatever?
The bowling one, yeah. Bowling Twitch party.
Oh my God. I went there, walked around, left.
Yeah. So you guys went in until like I see knew some other people went in to sit down, and me and Mary were like, all right. I was like, well, let's like walk around and see if we know anybody. And it's like, oh, well, maybe we can catch back up with Sam and Dodger and like have them introduce some people. And you guys were like deep, like they had this like big table, and you guys were like in the middle of it. There was no getting to you, and there was like, we don't know anybody here.
I'm so sorry.
Well, let's. No, I never said anything, and so I kind of blame myself more than be like, because if I would have said something, you'd have been like, oh, I got you.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I didn't want to like.
It's hard in a
interrupt y'all's like, what your plans were or whatever, and I was like, all right. Well, let's go get something to eat, I guess. So we left.
You know what especially sucks about that is I'm sure we queued up for that stupid party for like a really long time. We probably stood outside for a while,
we
right?
were. But somebody came and got us out of line and brought us in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know that.
Nobody brought my ass in. I stood outside, walked in, walked around, was like, I don't know anybody here, and then peaced out. I was like, I'll go anywhere else.
Well, that's why I was like, it's not so bad, because it was just like, even if you would have like introduced to people, we probably would have ended up leaving anyway, because we'd have been like, we don't know anybody.
Sure.
And you know, you kind of got to do like the whole small talk thing and yelling at each other, because there's way too many people there too. But yeah, so I was like, yeah.
Oh my God.
You left me hanging
There
one
was
time.
also the secret room. There was also the do you not remember this? So there was the bowling. So there was like, you know, a bunch of, I don't remember if there was an arcade, but there was a bunch of like stuff to do. And then it led to the bowling alley, and the bowling alley was there. But then on the side, I kept seeing, you know, like, the one I remember seeing ammunition walking by there. And I was like, what is back there? So I go to look. There was a whole secret ass room in the back.
Whoa!
Like, yeah, there was like only the coolest people are allowed in here. And I was like, oh, okay then. There was like a secret cool kid room. And I was like,
Anne is way cooler than all of us. So
agreed. Yeah, no, I get it. But also, it was just one of those things where I was like, why we got it cool? I thought the cool kids room was the whole room, baby. And they're like, no, it's not. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, to rub a little salt in the wound, Jesse. Sorry, it's they didn't come and get like me at a line. They came and were like, Dodger? She's like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, yeah, you come with us. And you guys were like, oh yeah, Ken, come on. She got recognized by staff. They brought her in.
I remember one time went to a BlizzCon, and there was a party. I can't remember if it was like an official BlizzCon party or if it was like adjacent. But this was the one time that my cousin was able to go to a BlizzCon. And so we were like, oh my gosh, we should like go do like a con party, right? Like that would be fun. And someone came and got Sam. They were like, oh, Sam, come on, get in here. Brought Sam in. And my cousin and I just stayed in line. She was like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "No, it's fine. We'll just stay in line." It's okay.
Sam just left you guys?
Because he had gotten into line like way before us, and we showed up later, and so they pulled him out. She was like, "He should have come back and got you." I was like, "It's honestly, it's fine. It's okay."
So nostalgic talking to you guys though. Like aside from like all the crap times in LA, those good times too, and most of them involved you guys. So
thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
That's very.
Yeah, you guys are like the normal people that were there. That was
because we weren't from there.
Yeah. But Jess, you like made it your own though. You're like in there now, right? You're like.
I mean, if I had my druthers, there's about 8 other cities I would move to that I just like more. I'm a big like city boy, so you know, there's other places I would go. However, I have like a business and employees, and like now I'm a responsible adult who runs things and pays taxes and has to deal with, you know, paychecks and things. It's just the worst. So I'm here for the time being, but possibly in the future, I definitely run away. I don't know if I go to Branson, Missouri, but you know, I probably could go to, like, there's some cities I love that I'd go to. But yeah, right now I'm here. Plus, then my parents moved across the country to come to LA.
I was gonna point that out too. Your parents literally moved to come like hang out with you.
So I'm here. I'm here for a bit. I won't ever own property, but I'm here. And
that's one of the last things I remember. Like I think it was like a week before we moved out. It was like one of the end of days maker things that I'd like shown up at dinner or something, but you were there. I think you were like next door or something, but you were like dressed up nice and having like a fancy glass of something. And you were talking, I forget who was there with me, but they were like, yeah, Jesse's got like a business meeting or something. And I was like, oh, Jesse's got this figured out. He's like schmoozing and, you know, meetings and stuff and restaurants. Look at that.
It's a relative term. By figured out, you mean Jesse decided to take his money and invest it in creating video games, and some of them successes, some of them total flops. So it's not really like, you know, it balances out. I tell myself as I look around and I'm like, I could have had a home. I could have bought property somewhere. I could have done anything with my life. Instead, I took all that and invested in a game about monsters banging. Like, that's okay.
That worked out all right, though.
That one did work out pretty okay.
That worked out okay.
People love it. Yeah.
When I moved to LA, it was the intention of being there for like 1 or 2 years. And I've told this story before, but I remember sitting with a friend of mine on the couch, and she was like, yeah, I figure I'll probably be in LA for like 10 years. And I was like, kill me if I'm here 10 years, right? Like, what do you mean? And I was there exactly 10 years. Was
it that long? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
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 And she's still there, by the way. She's 15 years deep now.
It's like it's a weird, I will say the area I live of LA now is like so good. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they did, but before it was nothing. And now it's like a little walkable community. I can walk across the street to the grocery store, go see a movie in the same area. There's like 8 restaurants. They have a farmer's market on Saturday. It almost feels like I'm in a normal place. And then the minute you leave, you're back in LA, and it's straight up just like, all right, I'm stuck in traffic for 2 hours to go 5 blocks. Like, it's just, but there's one little tiny microcosm of fine, and that's where I've managed to land, and I'm very pleased.
Do you think it helps that the area you're in is like older? There's some oldies where you live, aren't there?
That's where I used to live, and that was great. But then the oldies didn't do it. Shout out to the old people. I love you. You were great to live with. However, they never complained when they kept increasing. Where I used to live, they started tearing down everything that was around it and building up new apartments. And then they decided, screw it, because those apartments are charging $6,000 for a 1-bedroom. We want to charge $6,000 and I was like, no, I would never pay that. What are you talking about? And so, Yeah, apparently the old people that live there got like elderly rates, which
Oh, interesting.
cool. So I didn't. And I was like, no, I'm out. So I moved, and it was the best decision I ever made. But now where I'm at is like families. It's a lot of people with a kid and or a dog they treat like a kid. The other day I was going to go get in the elevator.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I'm in the parking garage and waiting for the elevator to go to my apartment, and the door opens and this woman's there, and she has a pram and or stroller. And as she pushes, she goes, hey, good morning. And I'm like, hey, good morning. And as she pushes it by, the baby lunges out at me. And I was like, and then it started barking, and I realized it was a dog. And I was like, I thought your baby was going to try and kill. I thought that was a killer baby, but it was a dog. And that woman just had a dog in one of the best strollers I've ever seen in my entire, like that was designed for 3 kids, and it was a dog.
But it was a dog instead.
So that's where I'm at now, and it's great. Everyone
innovation.
here is, yeah. On Saturdays, there's like a little park, and it actually has people in it, like a lot of people, which is strange for LA. So yeah, it's very nice. I'm quite pleased. But yeah, I ain't gonna own a damn bit of property. It's the one time I went house hunting in LA, it was because I saw a thing on like a website somewhere, and it was a small starter home, as they said, not in like the best area, but it was this home that it was 1 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, a living room, and then the second bedroom had been converted into a recording studio. And I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. I could just work from home. This is great. I go to look at it. Guys like, yeah. By the way, again, not a big house, like a house the size of an apartment, 1 floor, tiny home.
Yeah.
$1.6 million. I was like, brother, what? What do you mean? Here? They're like, yeah, I don't know. That's a steal. I was like, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, dude.
So maybe when the California falls into the ocean, I can get some like,
ooh, some oceanfront property.
Yeah, if I get something in the desert.
Mm-hmm. I like that plan.
You know?
Yeah, really planning for the future.
Right. I gotta think that. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
no, the two of you have your beautiful lives and your beautiful kids and your beautiful spouses, and I'm over here waiting for robots. We'll get on that. AI's coming along real well.
It makes
all
you
that
feel
matters
better.
is if you're happy or not.
No, because I don't have my sex bot. What's that about? We were promised flying cars and sex bots. It's 2025. Frankly,
That's
I'm let
true.
down.
We are
Science
really
has let
behind.
me down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What are they doing? They're like, well, we actually discovered new forms of quantum dynamics. Nobody cares. Sex bots, flying cars, get on it.
We're finding more and more planets
we're really
with water.
studying new uses for salt water that we can then help with plants. Nobody cares. Flying cars, sex bots, get on it.
I feel
Jesse
like
needs it soon. His poor man in his bathroom's had enough.
Soon I'll just be too old. And what's the point? I can't fly cars and I can't sex bots. Well, I only got so much time.
They're not even thinking of you. It's crazy.
It's like they don't even care what I want.
Like they don't even care.
Oh.
And we all know that if they really like nose to the grindstone decided to make flying cars and sex bots, they could do it tomorrow. So like, what's the holdup?
They've had the designs for years. China's already pumping them out. They know what's up. I've seen Westworld. I know what's possible. That's just soft disclosure. They're out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You ever just get into a bit and you keep going and you realize someone's going to message you and be like, actually, here are several good examples of sex bots. I'm like, please, I don't.
Actually,
guys, I don't need that. This is a bit. This is a goof. This is pure goofery.
Oh, I love how much you go into the bit. It's great.
Did either of you watch the second season? Were there 2 seasons of
Of what?
Westworld?
No, there were 4. And I saw them all. And they progressively get worse.
I only watched the first one. I didn't realize there were 4
Yeah.
seasons.
Season 1 is maybe one of the best seasons of television ever. Season 2 is fun. Season 2 is fun. And then season 3 and 4 are absolutely stupid. Just pure stupidness.
Like, if I recall correctly, you can watch the first season and just pretend that's the end.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
It has an ending. It is really cool, and I would say definitely watch that first season. But the rest, it gets worse and worse as time goes on. It's clear they had one season in mind as show runners and writers, and then they were like, they want more? All right, let's make it up as we go along. And that's kind of what happened.
When are we getting Fallout season 2?
Soon-ish.
They
already filmed it. So whenever they get done special effecting it, I don't know. Soonish.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of streaming services anymore because I'm so let down by them. I know.
Can't You're like bothered. That person at the cafe reading a book going, am I better than everybody else reading a book instead of looking at my phone? Yeah.
I feel that sometimes. Yeah. That's okay. When I was in Boston a couple weeks ago, I was in a cafe and I saw, I think I told Crendor this, but if I said it on this show, my apologies. But okay, I was sitting there at the cafe, sipping my drink. I don't know, it's maybe 11 a.m. I had nowhere to be. I'm in Boston. I'm just going to be a tourist for a few days, which was lovely, by the way. An old couple was trying to find the building that was Cheers. They're like, we're looking for the Cheers bar.
Cheers building.
But they were Canadians, so they didn't know anything about America. And so I got to talk with them. They reminded me of my parents. They were so sweet. The mom was like, look at that, George. Look at that, George. And the husband's like, cool. Yep. Yep. And he's just trying to walk down this hill. And she's like, wow, look at that. And then the entire time she's talking to me, I'm like, so do you, now that you're in America, do you enjoying yourself? You having a good time? She's like, everyone's been lovely. Everyone's so nice here, except for one guy. And I was like, well, there's always the one guy. Like, that's, no matter where you go in the world, there's always the one guy. She's like, but everyone else was lovely. And so I showed them where the Cheers bar was, which is hilarious, by the way, because it's literally just the bar that inspired Cheers. It's not even
that's
like
it's
not
called,
even,
or
I mean,
do they have that sign in the window?
It has a name, but you have to go, like, just like the show, you have to go, God, that show, this is dating us completely. But just like the show, you have to go downstairs to get to the bar because it's under the street, right?
Right.
And so that's the same thing here. I don't know what it's actually called, but outside they have a sign that says bar, or it says Cheers, the bar that inspired it, or something like that. And so it's not even, it's just like the place they were like, yeah, that's a good idea for a show. It's not even, they didn't film there.
Right. It was filmed on like a lot, surely.
But it just had a bunch of tourists outside. It was a very weird experience. But anyway, coffee shop.
Yes.
I'm at the coffee shop and I'm sitting there, I'm drinking my coffee, doing my thing. And around me are all these people on laptops just clicking away. The place I was staying, I think, is like a fashion district of Boston. It was close to Emerson College, so there's a lot of art stuff going on. And there's like typing away in outfits that are gorgeous. Everyone looked like they were going to go show off their new designs or whatever. But also, in the same place, was an old man. And he had nothing. And I realized, was just like me. We weren't looking at anything. We were just people watching and drinking our coffee in silence. And I was like, interesting. Am I that
future?
now? Yeah. But then another old man comes and sits down next to him. The two of them do not know each other. And within 5 minutes, we're having the most detailed conversation about kids these days. It was great. He's like, look at them all on their computers, not even talking to each other. He's like, yeah, we just sat down and we're already having a conversation. He's like, because that's what good people do. And then it's like,
we're losing community.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I was like,
yeah,
all right, well, I don't feel too bad about this. However, I don't know that I'm that judgy. Like, I don't care if someone's on their laptop. I'm like, have fun.
Yeah. Give it a few years.
But in a few years, that could be me. Yeah. That could be it. People with their VR goggles on, like, they don't even look at each other anymore. Everyone's got their VR gloves and goggles. Is that not the future? That's how boring we are. We could have had flying cars and sex robots, and now I'm like, can't wait for the VR. So stupid.
Yeah, people were losing their minds over. There's a picture of a baby in a stroller with like a tablet holder. So there's like a tablet just in front of the baby in the stroller.
Like the Wall-E movie. Sit back
exactly,
in the chair,
and a bunch of people were responding with the people in the Wall-E chairs, and they were like, "What have we done?"
Oh my God.
We could have done a lot.
Yeah, we could have gotten a lot
robots.
More creative with our like humanity crash out, but unfortunately, I think we're just all gonna like Roman Empire ourselves to death. So that's fine.
We don't even get to like. We didn't even get to the cool parts of like Star Trek or 40K, even though that's not really cool. Star Wars. We didn't get anything.
40K.
We didn't even get Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
What a 40K nothing. Future.
I'd be fine. You know what? Comparatively, at least we know where we stand. Like, it sucks. Everyone knows it sucks. So, like, that's fine.
Everybody's awful and everything sucks. That's
At
better.
least we yeah. At least we have like a baseline. If everything's terrible.
Right. The bar's on the floor and we have no intention of moving it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's value in that.
I got something for this. And then this is for the chat too. I threw a little shade at Dodger earlier. I'll throw some at Jesse. So I messaged Jesse out of the blue.
The stream's over. Oh no.
I messaged Jesse out of the blue because I got this list on my Discord of like people that aren't psychopaths, content creators, and you guys are on it.
Nice.
I like to go through and periodically like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I haven't talked to Jesse in years. Oh God, what am I doing? And Jesse was like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? Your stuff pops up from time to time, and we could all use some hot takes. And I was like, oh God, Jesse has no idea what content I'm making anymore. All right. He has no clue what I'm doing these days. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jesse, I'll come. And
wait, whoa. What do you mean?
All I do is watch reality TV these days, Jesse. I got no hot takes about nothing.
That's what I was referring to. Hold on. You're making content where you're reacting to stuff and dropping hot takes. That's what I'm referring to.
Oh,
you got a whole couch situation going on. You're like,
we don't have a couch anymore.
All
right. Like 3 years ago.
Jesse, I can't believe you. You didn't know they got rid of the couch? What have you been doing?
Well, I'm gonna walk into the ocean and let the tide take me. Just disappear.
It's okay. None of us watch YouTube anymore.
You know what's wild? Somebody came up to say that they like my stuff, which was very sweet, but it had the caveat of, actually, if I'm being totally honest, I hate watching Twitch. So I know you from YouTube. But I'm glad that you've been like doing well on Twitch, right? And I was like, oh, well, thank you very much, And I realized in that moment, it's actually really funny because I don't watch Twitch. I only watch YouTube. And I don't know why that is.
I don't watch any of it. That's probably why I'm so bad at my job.
I prefer the live format. I prefer making streams. I prefer streaming, but I don't prefer watching streams. And I'm not sure why that's the case. So in that moment, I was like, I feel you, actually. I agree.
I think the problem I have with a lot of streams, and it's also why I'm not a great streamer, is because I'm of the impression that if you're not watching live, watching a thing that is live and in the moment kind of sucks. Like, if instead of us doing this show, like earlier, Sips rated. We kept doing the show. I love Sips. Amazing. But Sips rated. We didn't stop and be like, yo, Sips, thanks for the raid. Yo. And then we spent 5 minutes shouting out people. Like, I get it. I get that's the streamer thing. But coming from a YouTube background, I'm like, the content that I want to make doesn't involve stopping the content. Yeah. And so I think that's the difference, is unless you're watching it live and in the moment, I don't know why you would go back and watch a lot of old Twitch. But again, I'm on the creator side, not the watcher side. So it's a different experience for me. And when I do create, I'm like thinking ahead, this will be a VOD I want to make something that people can watch that doesn't require me to be like,
yeah,
hey, chat, I'm interacting with you, which I love doing, but also it doesn't need to be a requirement, even though for good streaming, it very clearly does.
Yeah. Jesse, I gave you $5. What did you do? You didn't say my name.
And I'll get to you at the end of the stream with everyone else. I'll shout you out at the end. Stick to the end. I got you. I literally even have a thing in my chat that's like, I will shout you all out at the end. Please be patient. And it's, yeah, you know.
My alerts broke a long time ago, and I go back and forth between fixing them because there is a part of me that's like, I feel like this as a thing to watch in future is better without the alerts. But the argument is that the content is primarily meant to be ingested live.
Right.
So it's weird. It's a weird like line, I guess.
Here's a question. Do you guys feel like if it was the year 2025, but we were ourselves whenever we got started, do you guys feel that you would have been successful in the current landscape of content creation?
No.
Jesse?
It's so saturated. You mean like if we like
we're like starting like brand new.
We're starting right now?
Yeah.
No. I think it's so hard to break through.
But you, Jesse, you think you could make it? I see the look on your face.
I want to believe I could. But I also have to acknowledge that I think Dodger and I specifically, and I would say most people that are successful, like there's a small percentage of people that are, and you can see this on Twitch currently, you can see this anywhere. There's a small people that are flukes that nail it and they blow up and they have one viral thing or like they become, but the vast majority of the other popular long-term creators out there rode those coattails. They were friends with the person who blew up for whatever freakish reason, and I would say all three of us on the show, and they yeah,
I was gonna say all of us,
and then they went along with them on that journey, and then in the process created their own sort of community and ecosystem and that kind of thing. And so I would want to believe I could do it, but I also know that all the groups that you see on Twitch or YouTube, whatever, are like 20 somethings. I'm long past that. There's no Jesse, I'm not rolling in like, how do you do, fellow kids? Like that isn't happening for me.
Right.
I'm not gonna have that access of, okay, well, maybe if someone else is popular, I could be around. That's not happening. So I would have to do it on my own. And I wonder if I could, but also I know that a lot of it has to be, being there early, being in during a time where it was just kind of starting and the expectations were very low. So content could try to be anything, but also, right. I clearly would do things differently. So a great example is, if you go to YouTube, like if you're at my YouTube channel, you will see that I do all sorts of different things. That is not the way YouTube works anymore. You must be the person who does this one thing, and that is, so if I was doing what I'm doing now, to start with, I would already be failing. Like, I can't have, in the same week, I can't drop a scary game show, this podcast, and then me interviewing someone about a thing they like. Like, that doesn't trend, algorithms don't know what to do with that. It's insane. There's no way that works. So today I would start over and be like, all right, well, I'm going to do the one thing and I'll be this one thing, which is hilarious because if you think back 10 years, doing the one thing is what got you screwed. If you were a Minecraft YouTuber and you did something different, no one cared. If you know, and you would fall apart. Like when a game that you played died, suddenly you had no audience. Like all the StarCraft streamers, they all just dropped off because there was nothing they could, like, they were like, well, try other things. And it was like, you got to be everywhere. You got to try everything. You got to be in all sorts of games. And now it's like, no, one thing.
All of us have been through a rebrand or two on this podcast right now.
I mean, that's what, 15 years? Like,
it's been a while. I mean, like, you can speak like from a position of privilege now because like all of us can like literally, we can pretty much do whatever we want, and we have like a baseline of like how successful it'll be. And sure, some things perform better than others, but you have a lot more room to kind of do more passion projects. But like starting out now, for all you new content creators out there, like they just want to like stream a video game, and you find yourself not having success, and that's the typical experience. Like you have to have like this it factor now, like this.
It's the content creator version of opening a comic shop and being like, oh my God, wait, I can't just have a comic shop.
I have to have a hook of some kind.
More. Yeah, it has to be more than that.
And then I also have to like get clips and put them on TikTok and do all this other stuff and like multi-platform and act. And then however crazy that clip is that blows up, the actual stream or content needs to also be that for when they come and look. And it's seems like a lot of work. I don't know. I feel like being a content creator now is like at least breaking out is a lot more difficult. Or you got to sell your soul and like go straight into drama and just like insert yourself into situations constantly. We gotta check out CinnamonToastKen's take on streaming, you know, and it goes on Reddit or whatever.
No, I was watching a video where someone was talking about how they've started making a bunch of money on Twitter. And they were explaining like literally all I did was pay for the check mark. And then I respond to tweets that people feel really divisive about. And because you get money based on the amount of people interacting with your tweet, you just drama farm. You literally just drama farm on Twitter and you make a bunch of money. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's
everything's so drama based right now. It's exhausting.
Crazy. Like, I hate that.
Right now on Twitch, the most viewed stuff isn't video games. It's just chatting. Just people talking,
IRL streaming,
walking around on the street, filming their life 24/7. Like that's
always going to be more accessible to more people.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a little voyeurism involved. Yeah, I get it.
A lot of content creation, especially streaming, is basically reality TV from like the early 2000s, just streamed now.
Yeah,
like it's the same thing. You know, fake drama. Overblown nothings. The people that if they go outside of what they're doing on stream, they try to go into like anything else. They're just like a joke, you know. I want to go into acting, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, sure. Stay in your lane, buddy.
It is one of the things I've learned working. So I've tried to do a bunch of games and things involving people in the content creation world where it's like, oh, we're gonna make this thing because there's this really great gimmick this person has, and let's try and make a demo about this, and let's see if we can sell it or do something with it because they've got a huge audience. We can tap into that. That should be fun. Learn my lesson there. Studios, people with money, they don't care if you're huge on the internet. They are like, no. Has that person done any of this before? Do they know how to act? They have 8 million followers. Well, that doesn't help us if they're terrible at this thing. Or have they ever written a game before? Or have they ever there's so many different things, and they're like, no, we won't do that, which is why you don't see a lot of content creators, even though most of us, I think, live in a world where we say, this is where I want to be. I like doing this. I control everything. I run my show. The reality is Hollywood, the gamings, they don't want content. They're like, no. You
they
offer
learned
us
their
nothing.
lesson too.
Yeah.
They had a hot minute where they were like, "Yeah, let's start making some YouTube shows." Who's that Dan guy? Well, like, we'll figure. Yeah, this would be great. And then a lot of it did not do well.
Egos blew up and backfired, and like, yeah,
yeah.
I remember being at a PAX, and in a bar they had Disney XD playing the Polaris show.
Oh.
And I laughed so hard because there was a guy at the bar who clearly had no patience for it. He was like, turn this shit off. And that's my one memory of the Disney XD Polaris show.
Yeah. I was on a little Disney thing once. That was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They interviewed me one time after we did like some weird brand thing, and they're like, because I'd won it. Yeah, Jess, you were there. You were like the Anki thing or something, whatever that was, a little car racing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wasn't Sam in that too?
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I don't think you understand how embarrassing that was for me, because the entire thing, look, I loved it and I definitely took their money, but the entire thing was focused around a kid who was 8 and he beat the crap out of everyone. And I got to watch an 8-year-old dominate and I was like, this is it. This is the future. I'm old now. I can't, I'm done. And this was how many years ago? And I was already like, it's too late for me. It's too late. This kid is already 8-year-old killing it. That kid was a star. And I was like, all right. And I think something along the lines like I don't even know what happened to that kid, but he was one of the top YouTubers and he was like 8. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm too old. Yeah. I remember that.
They brought like a camera up to me and they were like interviewing me and they were trying to, they were asking me, they were trying to like promote like some music or something. So like, what kind of music do you like listening to? And I was like, I like listening to video game background, like video game music. And they're like, yeah, what are these lyrics? And they sang me some song, and I was like, I have no idea what you're singing me. And I felt old at that moment because I was like,
we're like an early version of the Man on the Street thing, where they're like, we're gonna play 5 seconds of this song for you, and if you can name it, you get $10.
Just like I think I heard it at like a mall when I walked by one time. I don't know, a store. I don't think they aired that. I don't think they used it, but
yeah, I was about to say, I don't know why they would have done that. It makes no sense.
It was odd. I was like, okay, sure. I don't know.
Yeah. All I learned from that time period was that there are certain levels of what people think are cool and who is allowed to attend those levels. Like Maker taught me that there's a stratosphere of who is important. And the best one, and honestly, it turned out fine for me. I loved every minute. But when Maker was really like, we're getting Snoop Dogg. He's coming doing shows here. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And then it smelled like weed all the time. I remember that.
Snoop showed up, was at the office. But every time I had to go there for stuff, they'd be like, sorry, we can't let you in. Snoop's filming right now. Like, I'm not even going there. I'm just going to a different room. Like, no. You're not allowed in here. I'm like, okay. Like, you can wait outside. So I sat out there with like Snoop's uncle and cousin while they cooked barbecue. So I got free barbecue out of it, and it was awesome. But also it was like, I guess I have to do today. I'm just here for a quick meeting with. Yeah, I guess like that's the level of, you're like, only cool people are allowed in here right now. Like Snoop doesn't want to be around losers. I was like, fine, I'll go eat my barbecue. And I was like, I learned lessons, and I think that's very funny about this whole industry. Is just kind of like, yeah. You're fine, but not that fine.
When he's not here, then you'll be cool again, all right?
Yeah. When Snoop's gone, we can allow you back in. I was like, Snoop's probably the chillest person in this entire building. You guys are out of control. But that happens frequently. Apparently, I am very good at getting bumped for rappers. Crendor and I were playing Cuphead at an event, and they were like, sorry, Kanye West is here, and you need to leave. That was great. And we were like, yo, we can play with Kanye. No, we couldn't. They were like, you need to go now.
You have to leave.
Yeah. I am absolutely, every time. I got so many. We had a, oh God, was it? I think it was when T-Pain first started doing Twitch. And we were at an event. They're like, T-Pain, so you got to go. And I'm like, all right. It happens all the time. I am perfect for being booted for anyone in the rap sphere. Yeah. I'm fine with it. I'm like, no, I understand.
It makes for good anecdotes. Yeah.
Like I'm good.
You got to have weird Snoop barbecue, you know?
That was fun. Yeah. I would have rather gone inside
I want barbecue right now.
Yeah, I would have rather been like, yo, Snoop, what's up? And he would have, he'd probably been so high, he would have been like chill, and wouldn't want to hang out with me. And we could have been buds and best friends. And then he'd been like, hey, Jizzle. I got the hookup on them sex bots, and I would have been like, thanks, Snoop. And then we would have been good.
Jizzle, like, come over to my house. Very different conversation right now.
Yeah, he'd be like, Jizzle, come over to my house. I got flying cars and sex bots. And I'd be like, Snoop, that's so nice of you. And he'd been like, I know, that's because we're buds. And we would have pounded it out, and then we've been best friends. But I was prevented from that happening, and I'm still bitter about it, is what I'm saying.
I see.
Yeah.
Jizzle.
Can I talk about horse girls just for like a hot minute?
What do you mean?
Can I talk about horse girls?
Sure.
Will you allow me a moment? So the last couple of days I've been playing Umamusume, which is a gacha game where you train horse girls.
Are they girls that are horses, or they ride horses?
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
They're girls with horse ears and tails. They were a bit cowardly with it. They couldn't go beyond the ears and tails, but they're horse girls, and they all care very much about winning the race. Apparently, horse racing is still very big in Japan, and some madman, some genius, was like, what if, you know what Japan loves? They love idol culture and cute girls. They love horse racing, and they love gacha games. And they smushed them all together. An anime came out a few years ago, and the animation in it is incredible. And then this game was only in Japan, but now it's available everywhere. I've been playing it on Steam. And as a reminder to anybody who hasn't heard me talk about gacha games before, my favorite thing with gacha games is to play them and see at what point they're not fun anymore if you refuse to spend money. I do the opposite of what Sam does. So I've been playing the Horse Girl game, and it actually has a really good game loop because it was a little overwhelming at first because you're like their trainer. So you have to like choose all of these things and set everything up before you start a career, and you're trying to hit like career goals for whatever horse it is that you're trying to train, right? But the game loop is really good because it's kind of roguelitey. So you hit the point where you're like, okay, I cannot progress anymore in this career. I didn't put enough, points in stamina or whatever. I'm not able to hit my goal here. And then you can end the career and just start the career again and do different stuff next time. And every horse girl has a different set of goals depending on like their personality and who they are. So like if it's a horse girl that's really obsessed with just winning, all of their goals are going to be just like get top 3 in all of these races. But like one of the horse girls that I got is really obsessed with like having a big fan base. So it was like, yeah, I want to win a race, but then I want to also make sure that I'm doing races that get me lots of fans. It's very fun. It's a management game, so you're training them and making sure they. Sponsored?
Are you just telling? No. Are you just enjoying talking?
No,
you're into this.
Yeah,
I'm so curious because when you said horse girls, I was thinking of just girls obsessed with horses.
Yeah,
which is hilarious topic by the way. I think it's always funny whenever I see a horse girl post because it's always crazy. But this is even crazier. Unexpected. I was not expecting to be like horse girls, girls who are also horses.
Girls that are horses.
How much has Sam spent on this game so far?
None. I don't think he's played it. But when he found out I was playing it, he did give me a doc that was
Did he give you the meta?
What the community believes are the stats that you should focus for each horse girl, which was very sweet. Yeah. You know what really sold me on that? Because at first I was like, I'm overwhelmed. There's so much dialogue in this game. I feel like the careers are just going to take forever. So things that help is there's lots of different options for like skipping story that you've already seen and dialogue and stuff. And the more that you play, you have more and more scenes that you've seen before. So it just skips a lot of it and the careers are a lot quicker. But honestly, the best part of the game is the races because they really put their whole ass into these races. Okay. Because they just
literally
they put their whole ass in there.
I gotta go look up footage. Is this real?
Go look up Umamusume Pretty Derby races.
Pretty Derby.
Yeah. The races, they have like a full like commentary system. Like there are like like voices commentating what's happening in the race, but like what happens in the race is not set in stone, right? Because there are like random elements that happen during the race.
It's just anime girls running around the track.
This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's not even them pretending to be horses. It's girls who have horse tails and horse ears. It's just anime girls sprinting
and they
around
just run.
She's pulling a gigantic tire.
This is incredible.
Yeah, they just
Why
run.
does this exist?
And And the longer that you're playing it, the more you're like, all right, Opera O, I believe in you, baby. The best part is they're all named after actual horses. They're all like real race horses, and their personalities and their stories are based on elements of those real race horses.
I've never seen anything. Watching them run is so funny. I've never seen anything like this. It's literally just anime girls running. But then they do like super speed. But it's like when they go to a wide shot, it's just like 8 anime girls running at top speed. And there's not a lick of horse anywhere in this. It's just, what if we got anime girls to run around a track like horses, the game?
Yeah.
Is this also like a dating sim as well?
No,
Okay.
They're not sexualized at all. There's no dating.
I was looking through the Steam community, and there's like a picture of like one, like she's in her towel, like at the, I guess, a pool. It was like, so I was wondering.
I just watched a video where this guy was feeding his horse, and every time he did, she would wiggle her boobs like this. So, maybe you don't see it as sexualized, but I was like, oh, hello.
I've not seen that. No.
Oh, yeah. She's like,
there are 3 different Umamusume games, so it might be a different one.
It's the same one, because it was a tip, the same kind of tips that Sam was giving you, but it was in video form. And this guy was showing you how to play, but there were 2 girls side by side, and one was not sexual at all. She was just like, yum. But the other one was like, hey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, all right, not a bad game, but kind of like it.
It's honestly very fun to play. It's really cute.
I actually love this game. Oh my gosh.
It's so
and I haven't
funny.
spent any money. I haven't had any reason to spend money. Again, because the second I hit like a ceiling or like a wall of some kind, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just start a new career. Like, it doesn't matter. I'll just end the career and start a new one. I don't give a shit. I'll embrace the grind. That's fine. So yeah, I was very excited to talk to you both about Horse Girls, because I was convinced neither of you would have seen this game yet.
Thank you for telling us about that.
Thanks for the heads up on that.
You can play it on Steam or your phone.
No, I'm all right.
You're welcome.
There's like a code that you give us that like you get like coins.
Do we get any percentage in this or no?
Like, sign up now and give me some coins. I have to spend money, guys. He's Co-Dodger.
Fine, then what have you guys been playing?
Elden Ring, Neightreign, a bunch of it.
Ooh.
Jesse and I played that.
Yeah, I need to get back to that. We gave it the old college try, and then immediately it
was difficult.
We're like, we should play again, and then haven't.
They brought out like kind of like Monster Hunter brings out like the higher tier monsters. They got like a weekly of that going on now, and it's hard. It's really hard.
Every week they like have a different element on the map.
It's like one of the basic bosses. They just amp him up to like 1,000 and let him go. Yeah, it's a fun time. Yeah.
Who do you main? What?
I'm a welder main. We get a welder.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. I got a buddy. He's Guardian. Everybody said Guardian was trash when the game came out, but he's like the best character ever.
Oh my gosh! Tell him the truth.
I have a question. Earlier, you was talking about shows. You mentioned like Warhammer 40K. This is my hot take, I guess, is before Henry Cavill said that he liked Warhammer, I'm pretty sure nobody liked Warhammer. Like, even the people that I know down at the comic book store made fun of it for being cringy, and suddenly everyone was like, Warhammer's the best thing ever.
We exist in a world of Total Biscuit where he loved Warhammer to the extent that...
That's true, he did. Yeah.
I can't not...
Jeff also loved it.
Yeah, plus Crendor is a giant Warhammer nerd.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
true. And Crendor, we have a
I'm
lot
surrounded
of,
by Warhammer.
So you guys got okay, all right, yeah.
So, but I would say generally in the public, absolutely. Henry Cavill saying I play video games. Yeah, him saying I play video games. I make my own PCs. I would rather stay at home playing 40K than going out and doing like. I think that hit with a lot of people. And then there's also I think social media is, I can't tell you the amount of times I've seen a video that was, well, I don't know, whatever the hell, when you retweet a TikTok, whatever that's called, where it's like you add to it, the amount of those. What is it?
When you stitch it?
Sure. When you stitch that talk. Yeah. The amount of videos I've seen that exist where it's like some girl breaking a guy's heart, and then it cuts to a dude who's like, hey, come over here. And then it's just a wall of Warhammer stuff. He's like, this is for you. Let's start painting. There's so many of those that exist. And I think it's just, it slowly became more in the ethos of, nerd culture. And then it started to blossom and bloom when you saw things like the secret level episode, or the various games and things that are coming. Like, it's starting to blow up in a way that is more acceptable.
Yeah.
But I think on a concept level, not on a what it is level. I would say most people still think Warhammer 40K, or just Warhammer in general, where you play with the figures and you do like battles. And I still think a lot of people are like, no, that's too nerdy. I'm one of them. I love painting them. I think it's fun. It's relaxing. But it's like doing a coloring book. But the minute you're like, let's play and pull out rulers and 80 dice, and I'm like, nah, that's too nerdy for me. That's too much.
Yeah. When Henry Cavill was like, I love Warhammer, I was like, ugh. If somebody was gonna like try to convince Henry Cavill that they were also into Warhammer, that would be so many years off your life, like so much work to try and, like get into that. And I just had no desire, because I think generally, even if you're like, what is Warhammer? What you see is a bunch of people painting figurines. But if you actually wind up getting into it or diving a bit deeper, there's like tons of novels, and there's I would say that I learned the most about Warhammer from when I started playing Darktide.
Yeah.
Darktide and Vermintide. When Vermintide and Darktide came out, I was like, oh, these are really fun. I know nothing about the universe, but I wound up learning,
It's been around for forever, but it was like so niche and so specific that the people that did enjoy Warhammer and were like into it and painting their figures was like behind closed doors. It was like, ugh, it's embarrassing. But then he came out and like spoke about it, and I guess that just opened the floodgate. People I
think it's just hard to pitch it in a way where you're like, yeah, that sounds fun. I don't know.
You see the God Emperor, all right? He's like this god that fights the void, and he's like dead on a chair somewhere, but they're keeping him alive by sacrificing more and more people to him.
The lore's fun.
What's so funny? Hold on. What's so funny about this is, Ken, in your description of people into Warhammer, you accurately described Warhammer 40K, which is hilarious because you know enough. You know enough for the roast, which is exactly what people want in the 40K world. They're like, yeah, but you know the lore, which is hilarious.
Like, why are there skulls on everything? Because the rule of cool. Skulls are cool, so they're everywhere.
What you need to understand is that people are like, you need to find your niche in the Warhammer world, and I've learned that Warhammer fans are, especially 40K fans, are super, super, super into it, to the point where the faction they like, mostly the Empire of Man, they love that stuff. So of course I always go in and I'm like, guys, have you heard about Chaos? Because it seems really cool. And I just think, and they get really upset. It's great. It's great. They're like, burn the heretic. And I'm like, why? What did I say? What? I don't understand. What do you mean? I love it. It's the most fun a person can have. Yeah, it's great. I love that kind of stuff. It makes my interactions in that community even more fun. I did mean the Imperium of Man. My bad. Oh, yeah, the Empire's probably Age of Sigmar or whatever. I wouldn't know these things. I roll with demons in the warp, so like it's whatever. You guys have your material world. I'll hang out with slime creatures and guys who have eyeballs in their stomach. That shit's awesome. That's cool as hell. I love that. Yeah. They're like, yeah, well, this one god, basically everyone decays, but you love it. And like everyone's like, yeah, we got to hang out with Grandpapa Nurgle. I'm like, that shit sounds awesome. That's cool as hell. I love that. And they're like, yeah, but you don't like the guys in armor? I'm like, nah, that's boring. That armor, that's stupid. That's boring. Give me.
But they got these guys, Jesse. They got these warriors, and they're like they're battle hardened, and they died, but they keep them alive and put them in like a coffin, and then put them in like a big tank and unleash them, and like they're basically torturing them for thousands of years and wake them up. You know, isn't that cool?
No, we got this guy who has 2 bird heads, and he went into a well of eternity kind of nonsense, and he came out the other side, but he can only see the past and the future. He can't see the present. That's what we got. We got cool shit. You guys got like, this guy just lived forever and he kills people. Like, all right, that's fine. But I got cool stuff over here. I got dudes who like have thrones of skulls and blood. What are you doing? You travel in our spaceship. Like, get out of here. Spaceships. I got cool stuff over here. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, God.
Can I ask you a question? I don't know why, but for some reason, I don't know if you're still on this train, but Maury. I, for some reason, have discovered that Maury has a TikTok now. And on that TikTok, he does double videos. So the first video will be the person explaining the thing, and the second video is the lie detector test. And I realized while watching this, and I know you've watched a lot of Maury, so I don't know what it is, but I realized that every time they do the like intro segment where the person explains the problem, they scream at the camera.
They always, Did that remind you when I was screaming like that? I went out and he was cheating on me and I'm not having it. And they say it in like the same like cadence.
Everyone sounds the same. It's crazy sounding. When you start listening to it, you realize how crazy it is, especially on TikTok where you see it back to back to back to back to back. Everyone sounds the same and like, Darnell is cheating on me with his own brother. And you're like, what the hell? Like, what are you talking about? And then Maury's like, did you ever have any interactions with your brother? And then it's like the lie detector said, the test said that is false. And then one person freaks out and leaves the room, runs away. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I realized only seeing it in that way do you realize how truly insane it is. Like before it was fun and weird, but it's genuinely insane.
Yeah, they got a formula or something. Like they do like the big reveal, like you're not the father kind of thing. And like the mother goes running back to the couch to cry. And whenever the guy first comes up on stage, no matter if he's like got the better story or not, everyone boos him. Boo your dude, boo your dude.
Yes.
You suck. Yes. And he's like,
yeah, it's good. Like that. I've been watching a lot. So I'm not doing a lot of TV, but you know, if I'm cooking dinner or whatever, I'll put on my phone and I'll like right now I'm going back through old episodes of Hell's Kitchen. And so I for some reason decided to watch from the newest season backwards. Not a smart choice. I'm seeing winners from previous seasons show up and I'm like, all right, well that's spoiled for me. But it was, and if people are like, you're still watching that? It's 21 seasons of this show. I just hit the end of season 5. So now I'm going to watch season 4. But like in the time I've been watching this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. In the time I've been watching this though, a season 22 came out and now is on YouTube. But I'm like, oh my God. But one of the things while watching it, one of the things I learned was that even that show is nonsense. At the end of every episode, they will be like, next time on Hell's Kitchen. And then someone will be like, I'll kill you. And it's like, is this couple in love? And then it'll show a couple in a hot tub. And then it'll be like, Gordon finally loses it. And he's like, you donkey. And it seems the most intense thing ever. Then you click next, play the next episode. None of that footage is in it. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Yeah. That's most of what it is. It's crazy. I don't understand.
Going back to Maury, have you ever seen the one where he brings people on for their phobias?
Oh my God. And it's like, I'm afraid of grapes.
Yeah, one's like olives, and he just like walks out this massive.
She's like,
jar of olives here. She's like, like Maury, Jesus, you savage.
Yeah, I don't. I am so impressed that Maury. Honestly, Maury is kind of like the YouTuber of the talk show space. And that eventually he just did the same thing over and over again. And it's what got him people to stick around. comparatively to like other talk show people on during the day who would do all sorts of stuff. They dropped off. Maury had a long ass career, and at the end, it was literally every episode was like, "You are the father," and that was all he did. And he blew up even more. The older he got, the more successful he became. That's a lesson, I'm sure. I won't take it, but like, it's a good lesson.
Man, I haven't thought about shows like that in a long time.
That's because you have shows on that are like blibbity blims, quality in. And then it's like a guy and he's like, bring me your trinkets and I shall tell you how much they're worth. Next
Antique
time.
Roadshow.
Yeah, like next time on Blimini Blims. It's like, we've got 15 quid. I know you would. And the whole country would. Every time I'm in the UK, I see a video and I'm like, what is this show? And it's like some guy in a suit from 1975 walking around the British countryside judging people's antiques. That's half the shows on TV there.
It's true.
I love the ones that are about like real estate and like they always. It's just a UK thing where like they always do like the walking and talking. The guy like walks through the camera. We're today or in blah 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 blah. And this unique, exquisite town. Na. Mary watches what is it the Great Bake Off or whatever that show is. I don't know what episode she's watching, but like walk in and like she's like got like a tissue and she's like drying her eyes and I'm like, it's baking.
How Mary
and the guy like starts walking the camera telling like this tragic backstory. I'm like, what is this?
The best version of that, going back to Hell's Kitchen, is when people finally reveal their tragic backstory. It got me to research, and I learned Hell's Kitchen's dark. Like if you research stuff, so there's one season, it might have been season 7, I don't know, it doesn't matter. One of them, half the cast, and by cast I mean chefs that are on a reality show, half of them were like, if I lose this, I go back to being homeless. Or like, my entire family kicked me out. This is my one show. Like everyone has a sad backstory. And so I was like, I got to look these people up. What happened to them?
Is this real?
I discovered so many of them died. Like, of drug overdoses, literally of being homeless. I was like, after this film, people just, and I was like, what happened to everyone else? So then I started deep diving. Half the chefs that win don't even get the job. I don't even know I'm not even sure what the show is. They're like, you win $250,000 in a job at my new restaurant. And half the time, they don't get the job. Or if they do get the job, it's not the job they were promised. It's crazy.
What?
One girl
That's crazy.
was going to get a job in the UK at Gordon's UK restaurant, but her visa didn't go through. And the company that ran the show was like, well, we didn't have time to get that done. And she's like, it was 2 years. You couldn't get it in 2. Like, what was the point of the call? All that stuff happens. It was crazy. I think out of 20 some seasons, only a few actually got the job. One girl won, and then they did a drug test and she failed, so they couldn't give her like. I was like, what is this show? It's insane. Don't deep dive things like this. It'll ruin the reality TV. You just don't do it.
That's so sad.
Yeah,
it's a stretch,
it's terrible.
But it's like the show Pimp My Ride when people didn't even get to keep the stuff.
Yes, I do remember.
They didn't even get to keep the PlayStation 2 in the trunk.
The one that my mom and I used to watch all the time is Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Oh yeah.
I did not like reading about peeking behind the curtain on that show.
You don't get to keep any of this.
Well, it's more like they cut so many corners that everything in the house was really poorly made.
It was just trash.
So, like, yeah, their house would get redone, but like things were breaking constantly, like not made properly.
When they do like overnight, we're gonna change your entire house overnight, dude. No, you're not. Whatever you're doing, you have 20 like. And then they have a like, I don't know, a bus or something in front of it, and then they pull it away. Like, here's a new house. You're like, wow, it looks amazing. But you're totally right. There's no way that would last in any way.
Yeah, I mean, we got this. We had this house built, and just to have like grass, like sod, these big rolls, so they just like show up and just roll out. It's taking them like 2 months to just bring grass out. Ridiculous, man. Everything takes so long.
Really quickly, quick question. Dodger,
yeah.
Why did you just pop up on my computer as activating VTuber Studio? What are we about to discover about you?
No, I was turning Steam.
Are you a
off.
VTuber model right now?
No.
She's about to be a horse girl.
No, I was logging out of Steam because I got a bloop from JP that said 15 hours in the horse girl game. What are you doing? In all caps. So thanks, JP. And shout out to everybody who checked their Steam being like, was that my Steam blooping?
Over here stalking your stream. We right click. What do you got? What's in your profile?
No, I was logging out of Steam. So I'm not sure why it was like, Dodger is VTubing right now. Right this
I don't
instant.
know what it is, but every time you do anything with Steam, that pops up. It says you're VTubing. It'll be like 11 o'clock at night, and I'll see it pop up and be like, Dodger's VTubing. And I just assume you've got like, like a hobby that you spend time in a VTube world. There's also a VR thing that will pop up for you, like a VR chat kind of thing. And I'm like, okay.
V-Bridger?
Oh, I don't know.
It's probably V-Bridger. It's
and I'm like, you have fun. Do what you do. I'm not going to judge you.
Face.
Because one day I'll pop up on your screen and it'll be like, Big Booty Asses 8, The Revengeing. And I don't want you to judge me.
Right.
Right.
And we never do.
Big Booty Asses 7
judge
was
both
a
of
good
you.
game,
What is
though.
this?
Jesse and I
Someone please get Jesse these robots quickly. He's going down the gotcha porn games path.
Oh no, I am so disappointed in the Steam Summer Sale started, and I went to go look what was on there, and of course half of them are like dirty games. So I will absolutely go look, and I was like, what are these games? What are they about? They're not even games. They're barely. I'm like, is this a scam? Are we being like? Are people being scammed because there's boobs in this? Like, what? Yeah. No, I can't. I will not. You will not catch me playing the games. However, I might produce them. If anyone out there is like, we're making something dirty, I want some of that scratch. That's lucrative.
Yeah. Like a microtransaction.
So many
This sucker
dirty
up.
games on Geekenders alone.
Yeah. I'm down.
We just need, we just need the moolah.
Yeah.
Okay?
If we could get, if someone wants to invest in us, Dodger and I will start putting out. All right, let me pitch you a thing. Minesweeper, but erotic.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so you like uncover the picture underneath by playing correctly?
I haven't thought that far ahead, Ken. I'm not sure what it would be. I don't
the one
know.
we pitched forever ago. Do you ever get ads for those games where you have to click the nails or the screws in the right order, and then like different parts of the puzzle fall away? And we were like, somebody should do that, but with clothes. And somebody did, but it's bad. I checked.
Oh,
so
they usually are.
They're
usually terrible.
We could do that, but good. We need the moolah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
I was waiting for
probably.
I'm going to get an NDA after this. By the way, don't talk about my new game coming out.
I wish I had those types of games. That would be fun. But I would never get another job in my life. People be like, we can't associate with that guy.
No.
Entertained.
What do we got for news today, Jessup?
Well, we have so much news, and all of it is kind of cute. First off, in the top 10 best choices of 2025, Capcom revealed that originally Resident Evil Requiem was going to be an online open world game. Thankfully for all fans of good things, they decided, and I quote, "We realized that it wasn't what fans wanted to see or play, so we went back to the drawing board." Which is, I cannot stress that enough. Great. I need more companies to think that way, because that is why they thought that was a good idea to begin with is insane.
I need Capcom to pump the brakes sometimes. I don't know what they in the room, they get around the table and start brainstorming, and they got a formula. They need to stick with it. I don't know why they keep trying to go off the beaten path and do online stuff, but quit.
I mean,
what was that?
What's really telling about it?
Game. The Outbreak? Game? Was it Outbreak? They had one. It was like after Resident Evil 3, I think, where
the multiplayer one.
Yeah, it was bad. Boy, it was.
Yeah, it was not good. What's interesting is that they started working on this in 2017, which is right around the time everyone was trying to make their own online something. So that checks out. And I don't know what happened in that time, but it's very clear that since then they were like, this is a terrible idea. But it's obvious that somewhere some guy in a suit in a boardroom was like, we need live service money. And I guess they were going to try and make that out of Resident Evil. And thankfully, that's not what we got. So big fan of that. Meanwhile, in other stupid corporate news, Netflix, who was like, we want to do games now, forgot to mention the, we want to do them like we do our Netflix shows, which means they're going to just start removing them from platforms whenever the hell they feel like it. After going deep in on games for a few years, Netflix is now delisting 20 games. They already delisted a bunch of other ones previously, like a month ago, but now ones that they didn't even work on, ones they just bought the rights to, Hades, Braid, Monument Valley, Case of the Golden Idol, Ghost Detective, a bunch of those. Their mobile division, basically, which cranked up in 2021, I think. It's a complete mess, and now they're dropping these games. Weirdly enough, they delisted the game Pompi? Don't even know how to say that. But it was this like very cute Netflix exclusive mobile game that won a bunch of Mobile Game of the Year awards, and they even removed that. So Netflix is doing the exact same thing they're doing with their TV shows, which is, we got to get rid of them. Which I don't understand. I don't know what goes on over there. It makes no sense to me. Like we said previously, last month, they released the new season of Black Mirror. And in that season is a follow-up to the movie they made, the Black Mirror movie, Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
But then what they did immediately afterwards was remove Bandersnatch. So the follow-up to the thing, now it's just a follow-up to nothing. I don't understand what is going on over there. None of it makes sense to me. Netflix, baby. What they did decide to do, though, is now they're going to replace their mobile games with other mobile games like WWE 2K, Sonic Mania Plus, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Basically, they're doing what Netflix as a whole is doing, which is if we can get things people know, they're more likely to click that than a bunch of indie games that no one knows about. I don't know if it's working for them, but I think that's their plan. So cool. We also got an article this week from the writer of Final Fantasy Tactics, because that's in the news again. Final Fantasy Tactics is getting a remaster. Yasumi Matsuno said, while talking about the game and the impetus of the story, he said, this game was made almost 30 years ago. And at that time, there were many economic and political problems, such as the bursting of the bubble of the economy, the Gulf War. In Japan in particular, the economy worsened due to the after effects of the bubble economy, with many companies going bankrupt and leading to an ice age of employment. Final Fantasy Tactics was released in that climate as a work depicting class struggle, with the main theme of the haves and the have-nots. Unfortunately, 30 years have passed since, and that environment surrounding it has not changed. He said that he hoped the wealth inequality, discrimination, and global conflict in the game that was based on the real world 90s would eventually have improved. But he says things have gotten worse. And I think that is like so sad to read. You're like,
yeah.
I was talking about the story of Final Fantasy Tactics, trying to do it without spoilers, is that like there is like there's like an army that's like trying to overthrow the government, and they're talking like for the common man, but like not even, what is it, Act 2, I guess? Like pretty quickly it becomes the church is trying to overthrow and control everything.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was just kind of like reflecting on that. It's like, yeah, I guess that what he says is kind of like it exists, but it's not like it's not like what the whole game's about. So it's not as impactful as,
right.
I don't know. I imagine people reading that and then playing the game and go be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like,
yeah.
Like they talk about it like a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the religion stuff is supposed to be like the why of why it's all happening. I think, but it has been literally 20 years since the last time I played. So I'm very excited to jump back in when that comes out. But it reminds me a lot of, I'm doing a lot of like reaction content watching. And for some reason, I'm always just so chuffed watching young 20-somethings react to Rage Against the Machine, because they're like, this can't be from the 90s. This is happening right now. And I'm like, Ah, yes. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, children.
Oh, that freaking Metal Gear Solid 2, like whenever Colonel's breaking down at the end and goes on that big spiel about like AI and the internet and everything. They just go show people that from like, was it 2010 or something?
Yes. And it's like, yeah, no, none of that changed. That sucks. That's bad. However, gang, the future might be better. It might be, we might actually get the future we need.
Sex robots?
No, better than that. Better than sex robots, Ken. Even though I know you've been talking about it all episode and that's the one thing you want the most. And you can't stop talking about it. It's actually gotten weird. I don't know why you keep bringing it up. It's so strange.
Listen, don't keep me, okay? I know what I'm about here.
But
it's 2025, Jesse.
Good times are ahead because the cast of the new Street Fighter movie is finally coming together. And we are getting some names, and I just want to rattle them off because...
Oh my gosh, yes, please.
All right. So playing Ken is Noah Centineo, dude from Austin and Ally, the movie Black Adam, to All the Boys, that franchise. He's Ken. Country singer Orville Peck is Vega. WWE's Roman Reigns will be Akuma. Andrew Koji from Gangs of London. Snake Eyes, that movie, Bullet Train. He was in the Cinemax series Warrior. He's playing Ryu. And they just announced 2 more, and these are the best. I can't believe this is happening. I don't know. Like, it's just so goofy. As Blanca, Jason Momoa, which I need to see that. I need to know what that looks like. And as Balrog, 50 Cent.
50 Cent, yeah.
Huh?
Yes. This movie is going to be insane. I don't know if this is going to be good, but I am going to watch the hell out of this movie. I am so excited. I can't believe this is happening. They're just like, yeah, just grab the most insane cast you can think of. We don't even, we also got Chun-Li announced too, but I don't, hold on, I got to look that up.
I feel like Jason Momoa is really quickly hitting his like Nick Cage, Daniel Radcliffe. I'll just be in anything that sounds fun.
Right. And he plays it that way too. Like if you watch him and stuff, he clearly is having the most fun on set. Yeah. Kalina Leong, the star of recent supernatural thriller Presence, is Chun-Li in Street Fighter movie.
Oh, I'm not sure who she is.
Yeah, I don't.
I will look her up.
I sadly have not followed her career, but I guess previously actress on Bad Genius, as well as Apple TV's Foundation. So there you go. Now I know a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know how many characters they're gonna give us, but I'm very curious if we're gonna get more. Cannot wait. Very excited for what may be a bad movie.
Back.
They have to have a recurring role, right? They have to choose somebody.
Who's gonna be Guile? Who's gonna? Can we just bring back Van Damme?
Roll out. Be retired. All right.
That'd be amazing.
But look, I'm not gonna. Sometimes at night, when it's late and I'm in bed and I think to my, I know, can't I see that smile? Don't do this to me. It's late and I'm in bed and I think to myself, I should sleep. What I end up doing is going to try and find like maybe a YouTube video of like rain or something, right? To play in the background. But instead, I'll scroll through YouTube and I'll end up getting distracted by the stupidest stuff. The other night, I was like scrolling through looking for rain sounds and I saw for free on YouTube was the movie Bloodsport. So I proceeded to watch all hour and a half of Bloodsport on my phone in my bed. And I was like, this movie's stupid as hell. I love this. Yeah. And that's what I did. It's what a complete, I should have been in bed. And I was like, no, Bloodsport's better, dude.
You were in bed. You were resting, just in a different way. You were
I guess
asleep,
it was I had to be up at 9 and at this point it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, well, this is fine.
1 to 7 hours, 6 hours of sleep. Yeah.
Just mathing it out of my head as the movie went along. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I? But I was like, well, I got to know how it happens, even though I've seen this movie multiple times.
Right.
Yeah. Kumite, man.
We got 5 minutes, so we have to wrap, gang.
Okay. Well, then really quickly, biggest releases, of course, last week we got Death Stranding 2. The 25th anniversary of System Shock 2 had a release. Tamagotchi Plaza for Switch 2 and Switch was out. And also we saw speaking of Warhammer, a huge Warhammer 40k push with new content for Rogue Trader and Darktide. All of it revolving around basically being the arbitrators. You are Space Judge Dredd is basically what that is. You get a dog. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Movies that came out. We got Megan 2, F1 with Brad Pitt. We saw a movie called Ice Road that no way has anything to do about truckers, but is Liam Neeson, I assume, going out for revenge. And then, we're going to get next week, Jurassic World has another movie for some reason. A Dora movie on Paramount Plus, for the three of you who still have that service. And summer Steam sale on Steam is here. So if you, want to pick up Monster Prom 4 for $13, you can do that. Wink.
Ooh,
and there's a bunch of other things coming out. Like on Switch 2, they're re-releasing Super Mario Strikers, that old football game from GameCube is coming out.
Yeah.
And then Mecha Break, that mecha game that we saw a bunch of trailers for during Games Fest that I was like, what the hell is this? It is a third-person online free-to-play shooter where you're all in mechs. So that's a whole thing. And and GOG is having its sale as well right now.
Oh.
So if you have money burning a hole in your pocket, you can spend that on a game you probably will never play. And that's it.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for watching Geekenders. Ken, I'm so glad we got you on.
Yay, thanks for having me.
Where can people find you? What are you up to over the next week?
Well, let's see. I'm pretty much making the same YouTube video over and over again in my semi-retirement. So, there's the old CinnamonToastKen channel still going. We got streams and gameplay whenever don't forget to stream on the Toasty Games channel. I'm going through my no social media phase, so don't even worry about that.
You and Jesse.
Yeah. You gotta keep your sanity, and I gotta get off of it. You gotta unplug, man. It's all drama. I can't take it anymore. But yeah, CinnamonToastKen and Toasty Games. Go watch me do my stuff there. And that's all I got going on. Yeah.
Nice. Jesse, what about you?
Yeah. We just released. Boy, what a shill for Warhammer I am, apparently. We just released the episode of Tell Me About, featuring myself and Crendor as the one person I know in my life who actually plays Warhammer. So I got him to tell me how to play and do all of that. And that was very fun. The next episode, which won't be out this week, but it'll be out soonish, Neil Newman and I have a conversation about motion capture and what that world is like. So get ready for that. And then, the show will be over on the old YouTube. So that's a thing. And then I have about 8 games I have to stream because everyone keeps yelling at me because I don't stream enough. So that is happening as well.
Well, I'm Dodger. I stream almost every day at Dex Bonus. And I don't know. Probably not more horse girls, but who knows?
What?
Maybe more horse girls.
I need to see some horse girls.
You can't.
They're not even horse girls. Game. They're just girls. There's
could be
no difference between you and a horse girl right now with your headset on.
Ignore him. You could be horse girling right now.
Oh God.
You're right. We're basically horse girl. We just see tails.
Oh.
We could be horse girls, Ken. Right. You and I.
I could run around a track.
You could.
You could do that now.
And you could have a really tearjerker backstory. Ken, how much do you love to run? Don't answer that. Anyways, hey, if you enjoyed this episode today, you can watch any other Geekenders episodes on youtube.com/Jesse Cox. We're on all the podcasty things. And that's basically it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have an amazing weekend and week, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for the Geekenders podcast. MegaRan, Jesse and Dodger, what up? Let's go. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow and see what the Geekenders are all about. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast without a doubt. Yo. Yo, another end of another long week. Got a job and a kid, I know that you all beat. So take a second, grab a drink and vibe while we catch you up in just a matter of time. On gaming, comics, whatever you're doing. If you're nerdy like us, then you know you should tune in. Thank you for sharing our world with us. Now follow, subscribe, and turn this up. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, scream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt.